Hey, what is good, everybody? Cause I'm a Fury here. Just seen Avengers: Infinity War, and this kind of got me breaking my video. I know I broke my vows here. I'm breaking them, but this is because I definitely said for the foreseeable future I wouldn't do reviews on this channel. But fuck that. I'm gonna do reviews on here for this one. Well, what can I say? I just got out of the movie maybe a half hour ago. I didn't want to jump on or anything. But I'm gonna tell you up front, things is good. How you doing, Zone X? I'm gonna tell you up front, Avengers Infinity War, don't take my calmness for it me being not impressed with this movie. It's just that it's Marvel. I've been watching their movies for 10 years now, so it's pretty much to the point where it pretty much hits everything that it needs to hit and much more. This movie I don't recommend. I mean, you could take your kids to see it. I'm not saying it's a violent movie. It's like the Snyderverse or anything, but it was a good film, like off the bat. And what makes it even better is like when you heard it was coming out. Don't I can say you can if you're gonna do comic books, you're gonna read comic books with the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff. I say you go find the cliff notes to this because you got to understand a lot of people coming forth don't know how to separate the cinematic universe from the comic book universe, and they want the cinematic universe to do everything the comic book universe does, and it's not going to happen like that. Those are the harshest critics for this movie. I mean, this movie, of course, you said it does, like Zone X, you said it did a lot. I can understand where people come from with that, but this movie was covering 10 years of Marvel Cinematic Universe history, and I think it did its job. You know, people like it could have. Some people actually said it could have been longer, but I could tell you this: I think it was fine at its length it was now. I mean, because imagine if we spent two movies. Originally, Infinity War was going to be a part one and a part two film, and we would have waited till next year to see that happen. What happened? The ending of Infinity War would have happened all the way at the end of part two next year. So they felt that they can tell the entire story in the first film. It's still another film coming in one next year, but instead of it's like chapter one and chapter two. So we don't know what the next movie is going to be named. Yeah, damn. We don't know what the next one's going to be named yet until maybe they're going to announce it at the San Diego Comic Con that what the next name is. Oh, they might release it before that. But anyway, let's get into the movie. What can I say? It starts off right where Thor Ragnarok left off at. It starts off right there. You don't see that Thanos, all the Asgardian people, so you think, we get to that later, all the Asgardian people are dead. Heimdall's injured. Loki is standing there because they came for him in the Tesseract, which goes back to Avengers 1. Remember what Thanos's servant said, the same one that Ronan killed in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. That guy said, "There's nowhere. If you fail us, there's nowhere we won't find you." They finally found him at the end of Thor Ragnarok. So when I saw Thor Ragnarok, I was like, "Oh shit, that's Thanos," because I knew that it was coming to that point. So anyway, the Black Order, which is Proxima Midnight, the female, um, Ebony Maw, and I forgot the other one's names. You got the big, strong one with the axe. You have Ebony Maw, who's I think is the one that can do all the magic and the telepathy, all that stuff. That guy. You have Proxima Midnight, and you have I believe in two other ones. But anyway, they done laid waste to most of the people you seen in Ragnarok. Remember all the warriors. Like pay close attention to all the warriors that you see in laying dead in Thor Ragnarok. You don't see Valkyrie or Korg because you find out later in the review what happens, and I'll tell you that in a moment. But you know, Thor's been overpowered. Thanos is no damn joke. He already has the power gem. He's a Titan already, so he already has strength, formidable strength. But the power gem is just he's just basically full of power. So you find out that Loki he was like, look, give us the Tesseract, Loki, or we'll kill Thor. He was gonna crush his head. He was gonna put the thing to him. So they was pressing. They was pressing the thing. He's pressing the power stone to Thor's brain. And was gonna, he could have killed him. But Thor's a god. Like Thor is very durable. And props to this movie for showing finally how durable Thor really is. It's like later on in the series they really start to get into Thor's true power. Finally, Ragnarok really started it and stuff. As much hate as people have for that movie, oh, it's too jokey. It's a comedy. They know it was a comedy. They made it an action space comedy. Because let's just say the first Thor was alright. The second Thor was alright. This Thor Ragnarok was the most successful Thor film. And people hate on it and stuff. It's like you have a lot of people with that DC bias. These are the same people. These are the same people who actually was riding and standing behind Superman being dark, moody, and unheroic. These are the same people from the DC universe that's very critical about Marvel being more, lighthearted. These are the same people who were DC, who was okay with the DC fanboys, with the DC universe being so dark and everything. These are the same people. So what happened is that the DC universe bombed hard. There's only one successful movie they had, and that was Wonder Woman. And to be honest with you, Wonder Woman is alright. Like I said that, I enjoyed the film, but on the grand scale of things, it's alright. So I done got sidetracked here. The Thanos and the Black Order have come for Thor. Have come for the Tesseract. They beat down Thor. They slaughter at the Asgardians that he saved at the end of Ragnarok and stuff. And he didn't know that Loki snuck the Tesseract off, but we pretty much know when Loki went past it, he had it. And in Ragnarok, you saw when he looked at it and paused for a second, you knew he took it. So they came for the Tesseract, which was turned out, everybody knows the space gem, and they bartered Thor's life for the Tesseract. Loki played hardball, was going to look like he was going to let Thor die, but he actually does love his brother. And he gave him the Tesseract, and he was stalling because he was waiting for for Hulk to come. Remember, Hulk was on the ship too. Hulk came, fought Thanos for a while. Thanos overpowered him and beat him down. But then Heimdall, played by Idris Elba, was laying there, defeated. So what happened is that he used the last bit of the power he had to open the Bifrost and send Hulk to Earth. And at this point, they kill Heimdall right there. The Black Order kills Heimdall, and Loki gives him he gives Thanos the Tesseract. He gave him the Tesseract, and he tried to kill Thanos, so Thanos murders him right in front of Thor and blows up the ship. And then next thing you know, it moves to Earth. And this is like that arc there. It's like people who had an apprehension, like if Thor was going to be people have a real apprehension with Thor. People want Thor to be, this basically, if you wanted Thor power, you got it in this film. And I'll talk about that too. But the story shifts to Earth, and I'm like, wow. It shifts to Earth, and you see the Doctor Strange and Wong at the Sanctorum. Hulk comes crashing through the Bifrost, and see him. So you hear Hulk's voice, but he's turning back the banner, and he's warning everyone about. Yeah, I've seen Luke Cage. Definitely, I've seen it. Season two, I hope, is much better. I liked Luke Cage season one, but then it went to a point where the story came too much to a standstill, and the action just died down drastically. I didn't like that. I hope the pacing is much better in Luke Cage season two. So anyway, you see Wong and Doctor Strange. Hulk crashes through the Sanctorum. They meet him, and next thing you know, I guess you see Stark in Manhattan with Pepper Potts. They married already because remember he proposed to her at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming, and boom, Doctor Strange comes for him because Stark was telling her, and it might play relevance into the next movie about the dream he had of her being pregnant and stuff. That might play into the next movie and stuff. So they setting up they setting up little crumbs to move you along with that. So next thing you know, Doctor Strange, I guess on the behalf of Bruce Banner, comes for Tony Stark, opens a portal. They go back to the Sanctorum. He tells everybody about Thanos, and then Doctor Strange and Wong shows Tony everything he needs to know about the stones. And you realize Tony, like Thanos has been in his mind, like ever since he's seen the visions of the Avengers dead and Age of Ultron. It's been on his mind. So you wonder why Stark had the panic attacks and everything. It all starts to make sense. That's what I liked about this movie. This movie makes sense of things. I gotta watch it again because it pays attention. It makes sense of things from the past 10 years. Certain story beats from various Marvel films come back into play and they play a little role in this film, which I was like, okay, that's cool. So anyway, they tell Wong and Doctor Strange show the story of the six Infinity Stones, but you see only five on the screen, and then everybody forget Doctor Strange reminds us all as film goers and those who may not know that the Eye of Agamotto is the Time Stone. So next thing you know, that giant donut ship that you seen in the trailer pops up and everything, and you see like Doctor Strange, Tony Stark noticed Doctor Strange hair moving, and he was like, and he hears the noise. He was like, "You moving your hair?" He's like, "No." Next thing you know, it's commotion outside. The gravitational pull and the power is making everything go crazy and stuff, and it flashes. Next thing you know, it moves to the school bus. This is the pace. You will not feel like this movie was 2 hours and 36 minutes. The pacing was damn near spot on, perfect. To be honest with you, a movie that keeps you wrapped in and doesn't have you doing this as good pacing. All right, so it moves to Spider-Man. Peter Parker, he's on a school bus, and only Peter Parker. If you wanted to know for sure that Peter Parker's spider sense is now in full effect, it is in full fucking effect. Definitely, it's in full effect. All his hair stands up. Nobody else on the bus sees that shit out the window or senses the danger. Peter, hair stand up on his arm. He looks out the window and he sees, because his spider sense tell him where's the danger coming from. And next thing you know, he tells his friend, Ned, make a distraction. And, oh my God, everybody gonna die, everybody gonna die. I thought initially that was him panicking, but that was him making a distraction. You see the Stan Lee cameo. Spider-Man gets out the window. He goes and stuff. Meanwhile, because there's a battle going on, Ebony Maw and the brute, I forgot the brute's name. This is why I gotta go see the movie again. And I gotta I'll check it on the internet. And the big guy with the axe from the Dark Black Order come to Earth, and there's a battle going on the street between Wong, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man joins in, saves Stark's life, you know, and in battle with Ebony Moore, Doctor Strange is captured, and they take him across, or they take him aboard that donut ship out into space, and Spider-Man is up there running out of air. Tony Stark is on the way up there, releases the Iron Spider suit to him so he can breathe in space and stuff. And then Tony Stark does the dick thing that he usually do. Look out for, he does the dick thing he does, or he plays the ward. He's like the Bruce Wayne to the young Dick Grayson. He's telling you not ready, so he activates the parachute to pull Peter off of the ship. But Peter stays on, which I like. I figured that much. I mean, if you saw the trailer, you already knew that Peter stayed on the ship. But you see how, of course, he gets in there and he becomes very valuable to the fight. And I gotta say, back on Earth, back on Earth before they went out into space. Let's pay attention to one thing. If you've seen Spider-Man: Homecoming and you seen Captain America: Civil War, you notice that Peter Parker was novice when it came to swinging. He was afraid of heights and Homecoming. He was a novice to his abilities. It seems like between Homecoming to Infinity War, this dude can web sling, and it looked amazing. Like, this is he's getting to that Peter Parker we know. We forget he's a boy. He's a 15-year-old kid. But to see him swinging much better and saving people and stuff like throughout the film and helping out and do stuff, I was so happy. This is Sony. I know Sony's not watching this, but God damn it, do not fuck up Spider-Man. Do not say, okay, Marvel, you done wonders with our character that we got rights to. We got the movie rights to him. Now we want to do it again. We done usually said never, ever stop partnering with Marvel Cinematic Universe. Spider-Man, they build him up into his universe. He's going for a boy. Like, I really like what they're doing. Tom Holland also, Tom Holland also, I gotta take my hat off to Tom Holland. He's really done, like, he really made Peter a really, like, after going through two Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, which people feel that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, and I'm like, no, I don't feel it. I don't feel like Tobey Maguire. It didn't feel like that. He's too, like, I just didn't buy him as a kid or high school or nothing. He's a grown-ass man, and you could tell. At least Tom Holland is only 20 years old, and he's still built like a boy. He's 5'8", for God's sakes, and his voice ain't gonna get no heavier. He's a grown, unless he smokes. So anyway, back to the story. They get on the Stark and Spider-Man get on the ship. They save Ebony Moore. They save Doctor Strange from Ebony Moore because Spider-Man is a walking classic movie reference. It's like he got a little bit of Star-Lord in him, which is ridiculous. Which is it's funny because that serves his part when they meet each other about pop. And Stark to boy, if you mention one more. If you mention one more reference throughout this journey, like it irritated Stark to the sense that because it was a throwback to Captain America's Civil War with the references. He's like, hey everybody, remember that very old Star Wars movie, The Empire Strike Back, with the giant thing and everything? That was awesome. Like that they harken back that Peter. Like his old school movie references, like his 80 movie references, is on point. So they save Doctor Strange. Tony blasts a hole into the hull of the ship because he brought up aliens. Peter brings up aliens when they blast the hole and the aliens got sucked out. They did that. It sucked out Ebony Moore. He died. And Peter used his weapon, and just in the nick of time, those tentacles from the Iron Spider suit finally pop out. They finally pop out, and boom, they latch onto the ship. He pulls Doctor Strange back in, and this is where Tony and Doctor Strange had their You know, they pissing contests at one another, and and that's a good moment in the film as well. Like it, like that was awesome. So somewhere along this line, maybe I don't know. It just moves places. It sets up everything. The Guardians find Thor, and it's like Drax is enamored by Thor's physique. They already, even Gamora and everybody realize why Thor can survive out there. They see things, they aliens, they see other aliens all the time, and they see Thor as being as Guardian, how his muscle, how his density and everything is different from everyone, how he's still alive. You know, I think it's an Asgardian thing because if you notice, when the Guardians received the beacon, the distress signal from Thor's ship, before Thanos destroyed it, you notice that the Asgardians was dead already, but when they hit the atmosphere, they didn't freeze. Their bodies didn't freeze. I think it's something with Asgardians in general, you know, because I think that's what, to people who are susceptible to space, breathing out into aliens and humans, so, you know, they can die out there. They automatically freeze. Not Thor. None of those bodies from the Asgardians looked like they were frozen. So, you know, the Guardians and Thor, you know, everybody's big apprehension is that, you know what, it's going to be a comedy fest. Yeah, there was some funny interaction. Of course, that's what the Guardians, if you come across the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's just funny. They just, that's what they think. That's how James Gunn got them. And shout out to the Russo brothers for not forgetting what makes everybody tick. Like in their own respective movie by different directors. Everything they managed to fit the essence of what we seen in the different movies by different directors into one cohesive film. And Thanos, forget it. Josh Brolin, the special effects combined with Josh Brolin's acting was on point. Thanos is like, he's different from the comic book in a sense, his motives, but the performance. This is why I went into this not reading any of the Infinity Gauntlet. I knew of what it was about with the Infinity Gauntlet, and I knew of Adam Warlock. I knew all that wasn't going to happen in this movie. So I stopped trying to find out more information because you will ruin your experience coming to this movie being a comic mark. If you come into this movie being a comic book mark, you're going to ruin your experience with this film. So, anyway, all said and done, Thanos, great characters. Like, I just like this movie overall. Like to see Nebula, to see Guardians of the Galaxy, to see. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I just wanted to mention. There's no Hulk in this movie, only at the beginning, and it all has to do with his defeat from Thanos. Thanos manhandles the Hulk and makes the Hulk fearful for the first time ever. Hulk was never afraid of no one ever, and Thanos beat fear into the Hulk. Thanos beat fear into the Hulk. This is like unprecedented. It never happened in a comic book. This shit would never happen in the comic book. He beat fear into Hulk. And when Bruce tried to bring out his anger, because you know Bruce can bring out the Hulk when he wants. As you can see in the first Avengers, he could do that. So Hulk was afraid to come out. He never was defeated. He never feared anything, ever. No one. He never feared anyone until he encountered Thanos. And hopefully, in the sequel, they will touch on him rising above that fear. And you never know, he might become more savage than ever. Fear might bring out a stronger Hulk once he fucking gets over that fear. You never know. See, that's the thing. And this just the ending of this movie that just was like, oh man. Remember, they set it up just like Gamora said, if he gets the gauntlet, he can wipe out people just like And that's just what he does. We lose Bucky ceases to exist. Spider-Man ceases to exist. Most of the Guardians cease to exist. There's only one Guardian left. And that's Rocket. Groot phased out. Mantis phased out. Star-Lord phased out. Drax phased out. Gamora was killed by Thanos to get the Soul Stone. And because to save Nebula's life, she takes, because Thanos was torturing Nebula. He was taking her apart. You realize how little flesh of her is left. I feel terrible for, like, as from a character standpoint, now you understand her anger. He has done horrible, horrible things to Nebula. And to see her disassembled and him pulling her apart, like, so Gamora couldn't even stand it. She tried to lie about it, but then he accesses her memory. He accesses Nebula's memory banks because she's a cyborg. And to save Nebula's life, Gamora had to take him to the stone. And this is where there's a character that everybody was like, oh shit, oh my god, finally we know where the fuck he is. What happened to him? Ladies and gentlemen, Red Skull is fucking alive. Red Skull is alive. Finally, you see Red Skull. And you realize he's been there on the planet where the Soul Stone is all this time. And Thanos asks him why, he's like, he mentions that to him. And he was like, a lifetime ago, I searched for the stones. I held a stone in my hand and it cast me away. So Red Skull has faced his exile and has been there the whole time. He has all the knowledge of everything, and he has the knowledge of everything. Hopefully in the future movie they touch on that and stuff. So of course it was CGI because they didn't, Hugo Weaving didn't want to come back. I guess Hugo Weaving never wanted to play Red Skull again for some reason. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. This dude was Elrond from fucking Lord of the Rings. He was Agent Smith. He was the voice of Megatron. But you don't want to play Red Skull again. Fuck you, Hugo. Anyway, to see Red Skull again was great. It was good. Like I said, all past movies start to, reach their point. Like, they little things come back in. And you start realize, like, this movie gives service to 10 years history. It gave service to a lot of stuff. And then stuff that I can't remember right now, which I probably will see on a second viewing. But, man. What can I say? I can actually sit here and talk about this movie. I enjoyed the movie. Like, I thought my boy that I follow, J3, was exaggerating about the overall feeling of this movie. He wasn't. It's a good movie going experience. And, the audience laughed when they needed. There was a serious moment. It pulls you out with a joke, and then it goes right back into to break the uneasiness, but then it goes right back into the heart of the matter. Like, it doesn't just become a non-stop comedy. It's like the joke, the lighthearted jokes is to kind of, how can you say, lighten the mood. You said it has mixed feelings. I don't know. I didn't have mixed feelings about this movie. I was like, okay. Let me tear this apart. Like, what are they not gonna be able to do? I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of stuff that they weren't able to do. I didn't read Infinity War. Or Infinity Gauntlet, because I wanted to judge this movie on its own merit. But my friend said the same thing. I wanted more from the characters. You got a 2.5-hour movie. You got not countless characters. You got Iron Man, you got Spider-Man, you got War Machine, you got Falcon, you got Black Widow, you got Captain America, you got Bucky, you got Black Panther, you got Okoye, you got M'Baku, you got Shuri, you got Star-Lord, you got Drax, you got Groot, you got Gamora, you got Nebula, you got Mantis. You gotta put aside the fact that this movie is not gonna touch on everything you need to touch on. It's not. It just can't. Some are gonna take a backstory, all right, and we gotta see. I want to know what Hawkeye's up to. He's under the. He's gonna come back in 4 as Ronin. You know, you have so much stuff in this movie. It's not gonna tell you. Oh yeah, you got Vision. You got fucking where do I start at? You got Thanos, which was a great performance. Josh Brolin with the CGI suit on and everything. Now I understand why Captain Marvel wasn't in this film. But the Easter egg at the end of the movie, you know she's going to be in part 4. After she stars in her movie, which is based in the 90s, she's going to be in part 4 of Avengers next year. Both movies, Captain Marvel, that, yes. Part 4 and stuff. They wanted to tell you, think about it. Like I said earlier in the review, if they really wanted to, they wanted to, initially when they announced Infinity War, it was going to be 2 films, part 1 and 2. And we would have waited 1 year just to see him do that. And then we were like, the fuck? That's how it ends? They was able to tell one story into a 2.5-hour movie. And then now, that's one chapter. Now, we're going to wonder, now the story, now it begins. How are the Avengers, the core members? Notice, they did it boldly. They did. Everybody went to this movie thinking, "Oh my God, Cap is gonna die. Oh my God, is it Iron Man that's gonna die? Vision's definitely gonna die." They went to this movie like that, and then you realize the core members of the Avengers are the only ones really still standing. I mean, I count even War Machine as a damn core Avenger because he's always been by Rhodey's side, always. He was War Machine by the second. He was War Machine in the second Iron Man movie, and he even appeared in Age of Ultron to back them up. So he's an Avenger, definitely, to me. So you got the only one still standing is Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, Bruce Banner, who he'll bring the Hulk out eventually again. The Hulk, once the Hulk overcomes his fear, Thanos, he'll be back. You got Hawkeye, which will be back. And then you got War Machine, Rhodey. You got Rocket. They left, Rocket is the only one still with us, I believe, from the Guardians right now. Rocket is the only one still with us. Okoye is still there. Shuri, they ain't show her, so I know for sure Shuri is still around. She finished doing whatever she was doing to save Vision, the move Vision. She finished. She's gonna bring Vision back. I'm telling you, I'm making this prediction right now. Let me get the grill, this gray in my bed. I'm making this prediction right now. Shuri is gonna bring Vision back to help them in part 4. Think about it. Remember, the movie sets it up so nicely. If you listen to the dialogue and pay attention to it, or you pay attention to the dialogue, you realize this movie is going to be a lot of payoff, and there's going to be a lot of things that happen in part 4. Like, Vision is not gone. That's why why would they make such an inference to, why would they make it such a reference to Vision being more the mind gem? The mind gem is not his life force. Shuri did something to back up his mind. You know? Yeah, maybe we do on the Skype, for sure. We could talk on that. But I'm telling you, Shuri finished doing what she was doing. She's going to bring Vision back. She took down his essence and everything. I'm telling you, he'll be back. Vision to be back. So yeah, it's look like Vision was a big member in the comic books. So Vision to be back, people. I can feel it now. Now the journey is knowing, trying to wondering, pondering how they're gonna bring back everybody, and if everybody is gonna be brought back. We don't know. That's the thing about this. This is why I'm all right with this ending. We don't know. It leaves you like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? It was such a good movie, but oh fuck, damn, it was 2.5 hours already. That's how I feel about the pacing of this movie, which is good. So you don't know what's gonna happen. I'm telling you now. I predict Vision to be back. Of course, Ant-Man is gonna come to help because his movie come out. Oh yeah, we got another Marvel movie. His movie comes out in a couple of months in July. So we're gonna have Ant-Man, Wasp, Vision. Think about it. Avengers is gonna have Captain America. It's gonna have Black Widow. It's gonna have um Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, Thor. Whew, let me see who else. Hawkeye. What's the sixth one? I miss Hulk. Okay, and then it's gonna have Ant-Man, Wasp, and Vision. That sounds like the comic book Avengers. That sounds like one of the iconic rosters of the Marvel comic series. You know how they're gonna have them in that movie, so it's good, y'all. So you want to know what I thought about the movie overall? Like, I fucking enjoyed the movie. I think the movie was good. If I could sit here and tell you all this stuff and be enthusiastic about it, this is not me. This is me being analytical and being happy at the same time. If this was me manufacturing how I really felt, like manufacturing fake fanboy shit, I'd be like, yo, this is the greatest movie ever. Oh my God, this is it. Marvel this, Marvel that. No, I'm actually sitting here walking you through it and thinking it and bringing up references because I see stuff that some people don't see, and people may see things I haven't seen. But I pride myself on. I think I've seen a good amount of stuff, and I can call out some stuff and like, you know what? That's gonna happen. Like the whole thing with Vision. I'm telling you, like I'm really sticking to that. She's gonna bring him back. Now we gotta sit here and wonder how people are gonna come back. It's gonna be a Black Panther 2. Black Panther 2 has been announced already. The only thing is nailing down the deal with Ryan Coogler because they said they will not do Black Panther 2 without Ryan Coogler. Spider-Man sequel starts filming in a couple of months. Spider-Man sequel films in a couple of months. So now we have to wonder and make theories of how they're gonna how Black Panther, Spider-Man, Winter Soldier, or White Wolf, how they're gonna come back. How's it gonna happen and stuff. It's not like we spoil you by the stuff. We just wondering how it's gonna happen. How's it gonna go down? So let me get home now and stuff. I gotta run, and I'm in my car right now, as you can see, on my SUV. But to let you know, this movie, I enjoyed the shit out this movie. It's up there in my top 10. It's not like, oh my God, it's like the greatest Marvel film I ever seen. I mean, you know why? Maybe I gotta watch it again, but I'm so desensitized. When it comes to Avengers movie, Marvel Marvel hasn't failed me much. People were like, oh well, Avengers. I hated Avengers: Age of Ultron and stuff. I didn't hate the movie. It just didn't get me in the feels like the first Avengers did. Yeah, the first Avengers was better than Age of Ultron, but overall, they have not, like, when it comes to Avengers film, they have not let me down yet. And when it comes to Marvel films in general, cinematic universe, they haven't let me down. There's some movies that I like less than I like others. Like, I was like, you know what? I can't watch this again. You know, it happened and stuff, but I don't hate the movies. There's some movies like I put here and I put here. Like, for example, I put Thor: The Dark World down here. Don't hate the movie, but I put Captain America Winter Soldier up here. I put Winter Soldier, I put Civil War up there. I put like Iron Man somewhere between those. Iron Man 3. People hated that shit for some fucking reason. But I don't know. It's like I didn't have problems with Iron Man 3. It's right here. If this was where Thor the Dark World is to me, Iron Man 3 is like right above it. Like that. As my lower tier movies that I liked, but they not as good as this one's up here, you know? Thank you. I actually thought Iron Man 3, it was my, like, I would say Iron Man is one of the best Iron Mans. The first Iron Man I really like. I like the first Iron Man more than the second Iron Man. But just because something is down here, let me explain my list more. When it's up here, that means it's something I can watch again and again. Avengers 1 is up here. You know? Avengers 1 is up here. Iron Man 3 is a movie I can watch again and again and again. It's down here. Don't mean I hate it. I think Iron Man 3 actually was good. I don't know what people were talking about, you know? But Iron Man 1, I watched the shit out of Iron Man 1. So much. You know? I watched the shit out of Iron Man 1 and stuff. So that's why, like, I really, and it wasn't just because it was the first Marvel Cinematic Universe. This was before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was even a thought. You know? This was before it was a thought. You didn't know it was going to be built into the Avengers until Nick Fury came in the after credits film. And something told me not to leave the movie. This was before after credits thing. Oh yeah, Ragnarok. See? And people were getting on Ragnarok about being an action comedy. I actually watch Ragnarok a lot. And I like Korg. Hey man, you know, I'm Korg. This is Meek. He's insects with blades for hands. Like I really like Korg. Like, and I like Thor Ragnarok. I really did. I really liked it. I enjoyed that movie. You know, it made Taika Waititi's comedy. You know, Chris Hemsworth's performance. It's good. But then to see him in Infinity War and see that he's different because he has so much loss. He has so much regret. He has so much regret letting Ragnarok happen to destroy Asgard, but even though it saved his people, he feels that he let his people down because half of them were slaughtered by Thanos and he couldn't stop them. Thor was one of the best characters of Infinity War. He really was. To me, Thor was like one of the best characters. Like Chris Hemsworth, and people were like, and this people, I know two other brothers that I know that do their channels. They got big channels. They talk hella shit about Chris Hemsworth as Thor. You know? Thor, yo, tell me my favorite part, one of my most favorite parts of Infinity War was Thor coming to Wakanda with Stormbreakers and wrecking shit. He was destroying ships. You know what Thor, you know how he was able to do that now, right? Because Thor and Ragnarok, he realized when Odin taught him, the hammer isn't your power. You are the power. And he awakened his true power. Now that he knows that, he can forge a new weapon and he can bring all his true power out into the weapon. You know? Everybody was clapping. Even Groot was killing. Even Teenage Groot finally gave a shit. So Bifrost. The Bifrost. The Stormbreaker can control the Bifrost, so Thor can travel through space now. Just like in the comic book, he was able to do that too. So now, what was I saying about Thor? Like, to see him come in, he was destroying ships. You know, he was destroying ships. He was wrecking people out. He was doing a couple of things. So I really enjoyed Thor. I was like, the cops are flashing in the background. I just hope they, because I'm double parked. I hope they ain't trying to come to me. All right, good. So Thor with the Stormbreaker, he used the Bifrost because remember what Peter Dinklage said. You know that you noticed that was Peter Dinklage, right? They just took him and just made him gigantic, but he was Peter Dinklage is a dwarf in real life, so they just pretty much made him look gigantic on. They did the Lord of the Rings special effects on him, made him look giant. So when he forged the weapon and stuff, he said it controls the Bifrost. This is a weapon for the king and stuff. Thor's the king now. Odin said he's stronger than Odin said that Thor's stronger than him. So what Thor does now that he know that he is the source of his own power, he can bring forth more lightning and he could channel it into he could channel it into Stormbreaker and do a lot more crazy things and bring forth a lot of power. Because before, when he had Mjolnir, he believed in Mjolnir. He believed in Mjolnir being his source of power. Now he believes in himself, and that's why he was like, but he realizes he still needs a enchanted weapon to bring forth his true power, to channel it through and cause maximum damage. That's why he got Stormbreaker. Because you notice in Ragnarok, when he was fighting, he was destroying people with it and he was still channeling his power. He's better now because he knows he is formidable with the Stormbreaker and he's formidable without it. He chose. Yeah, Mjolnir wouldn't have been able to do that because if he still had Mjolnir, he would have. If he wouldn't have, if Mjolnir was never destroyed, he would have never have known that he is the true source he's the source of his own power. It took him damn near dying to speak to Odin again in the vision to realize that he is a true god. You know, Odin died and never told him that. But I think Odin somehow wanted him to see that for some reason. Even with 2 eyes, you can never see what was in front of you. So I don't know. It was crazy. Like the story, like I really liked Thor in this movie. That's why I'm sitting here talking Thor. Like I really like Thor. I really thought he was awesome in this movie. Like the power, and if you pay attention to the like. Yeah, man. I talked about Red Skull before you came. I was talking about Red Skull. I was like, yes, we finally have answered the age-old question: where in the love of fuck is Red Skull? I was like, yes. You know, I was like this to myself inside my brain. I was like, finally. I actually said out loud, I'm like, finally. I like, and the guy next to me like, yeah, I know, right? Where's he been? So it was good to see him, but I wonder how he got all this knowledge and stuff. He knows everything. He knows Thanos and Gamora's name, and I like how, speaking of knowing stuff, how did Thanos knew of Stark? That right there, and they knew of each other. Like, and you start realizing Tony was going through some more. He was going through a lot of psychological trauma since going through that portal, and then messing with the stones. Tony knew a lot of shit. Yep. But to know that he was on that planet where the Soul Stone was at the whole time, I was like, God damn. At least we know he's still alive. Is he gonna come back to Earth? Is yet to be seen. Tony was at Thanos the whole movie. Yep. I mean, even though, like, I even like that Iron Man was trying his best to stand up to Thanos. Like the weapons he made on his bleeding edge armor with the nano machines, and how he like, you did all that just for a little bit, a drop of blood and stuff. Like it. Like he actually wounded Thanos and stuff, and then Thanos just start wrecking him out and stuff, and then yeah, I was like, yo, they used a lot of trailer trickery too, because you remember in the Avengers Infinity War first trailer when you see everybody running into battle, they did that just to fool people. You see Hulk in the background. They like, I gotta give it to Marvel and the Russo brothers for trailer trickery. That was really good. Like they really did a thing, and the scenes you seen Thor end was different when you seen the final version of the movie. So I'm like, they did a lot to keep a lot of the secret. I really enjoyed it. But you know, at the end, who that beacon was sent to? What you know who Nick Fury sent that to, right? We all should know that. That he sent it to Captain Marvel. He sent it to Carol Danvers. So I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to see if her movie's good, because people was complaining about the picture they saw of her on set. They're like, "Where's her costume at?" I'm like, remember, initially she has the Kree War outfit on, which was green and black. She doesn't do her red and blue thing until later on in her film, which we will see next year. But yeah, for real this time, I gotta head out now and stuff and head on home. I give it an A. Like just like I really enjoyed the movie. If I could sit here and talk about it like this in this detail, there's a lot to unpack. I've seen a lot. I really enjoyed this movie and stuff. It didn't knock the socks off of me, but the overall package, what it presented to us, the story it told, like with the characters, especially with the villain, we finally got not just a powerful villain, we got great fight scenes. We actually got a war. The movie was called Infinity War, and goddamn, that war in Wakanda, that was a war. We got good action choreography. Whoever did the motion capture for the fight scene against Thanos and Hulk, that was great. Like Thanos, whoever did the fight for Thanos was good. Like Cap and Black Panther taking out all those creatures. Like the fight scenes were good. Proxima Midnight versus Black Widow. Uh, Spider-Man swinging ability, like just even the special effects. I enjoyed the shit out this movie. Like I said, solid A. I might have to see this again very soon, yo. So anyway, uh, peace, man, and thank you for coming by today. Thanks for subscribing, man. I really appreciate it. I know I have a lot of videos where I rant. You have to pay attention to it. You're gonna see that I rant a lot about video games, about Resident Evil and stuff. I'm big Resident. Have a good evening. Peace out.